Upsets all across the country this weekend, and Vince Miskowitz, he breaks the scoreboard down in Florida with 23 rebounds. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Hey, how's everybody doing? I hope you had a great weekend. I did. Drove over the Cascade Mountain a couple of times. A lot of snow up on top, but none on the road, which actually disappoints me. But got there and back safe. And we had a wild weekend of NAI basketball. If you're anything like me, you were looking at the score sheet all weekend and you're going, no, hey, look at this. No, hey, look at this. It was unbelievable. Hey, let's get first thing first here, though. Charlie Yoder, he's down at New College of Florida. He broke the 1,000-point career club. Congratulations to Charlie. Great guy, really making a difference down there at New College. We haven't talked too much about him, but they're 500 now in the Sun. They'll probably struggle a little bit this year, but they're really going the right direction. Hey, congratulations to Charlie Yoder, 1,000-point club. Okay, so this is Georgetown, number one in the country. They played a couple games this weekend. They beat Miami Hamilton 103-71 on Friday. Jaquez Franklin, 16 points, 2 rebounds, and Tay Dozier, 17 points, 4 rebounds. And then that was on Friday. And then on Sunday, I don't know why that explodes. On Sunday, they played Washington Adventist, and they were very rude hosts. They beat them 113-76. Jaquez Franklin, again, 22 points, 2 rebounds. And Jay Breon Spike, 17 points, 3 rebounds. So Georgetown goes to 16-0, and they will play Lindsey Wilson on Thursday, and that's going to kick off Mid-South play for the Georgetown Tigers. Also in the Mid-South on Thursday, here's the schedules. You can see them. You can see the games, not a lot of them, but that'll be happening in the Mid-South on Thursday. Sorry. Let's keep going to the Cascade Conference, where you probably already know Friday night, the Corbin Warriors beat College of Idaho 59-56. For Corbin, Spivey Word, 23 points, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, and Luke Kristowiak, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Low-scoring game. I've heard a couple people say, well, shooting percentages were down and this and that. That's what Corbin does. That's their goal. They're just going to make your life really uncomfortable on the offensive end. They're going to make your life really hard in the paint, and that's the game they play. They try to keep the score down. I'm really surprised they were able to do this in Caldwell. They're really effective at it at home. But hey, huge win for the Corbin Warriors, and College of Idaho. Nobody is invincible, but they fell at home in Caldwell, and that has not happened for a while. So next up let's go to Saturday night first. And Saturday, Bushnell came to town. I told my friend, I said they'll probably beat Bushnell by 100 after losing to Corbin, but they only beat them by 19. 91-72. Johnny Radford, 17 points, 2 rebounds, and Samaji Morgan, he had 15 points, 8 assists. So now College of Idaho is going to go to Northwest on Friday. Don't shed any tears for them. They're 11-2. I think the Yotes are going to be just fine. LC State on the road this weekend. They had to go to Multnomah on Friday night. That's in Portland. They beat them 90-72. Multnomah's a team that has been making some noise in the Cascade. This was kind of a highly anticipated game, but LC State came in and took care of business. Bakari Morris, 24 points, 8 rebounds, and Tayden King, he had 16 points, 5 rebounds. And then on Saturday, they played LC State. LC State played Warner Pacific. Warner Pacific gave them a really good game. Final was 73-60, but this game was nip and tuck up until boy, the last three minutes or something. And then LC State was able to get some separation. Alton Hamilton, he had 22 points, 10 rebounds. And Boykins, he had 15 points, 7 rebounds. So the Warriors go to 12-2, and they're going to host Bushnell and Corbin next Saturday. I bet they're going to appreciate that after that. That is a long road trip for LC State over to Portland. So let's look at the rest of the Cascade Conference. A lot of games here. We're not going to really go through them, but you can see the winners and losers here. That Corbin game, Southern Oregon beat Evergreen. No surprises here. I would point them out if there was any surprises. A lot of games over the weekend. Of course, the Cascade Conference plays both Saturday and Sunday. Friday and Saturday. Wow. You know what? Sorry about that. I got a slide ahead. So here's the standings. LC State's a half game up on College of Idaho and Oregon Tech. Another half game back is Multnomah and Corbin. One of the best Cascade Conference races I've seen for a while. We're going to have to keep an eye on this. So next weekend, a couple games to watch. You're going to think I'm crazy. College of Idaho goes to Northwest. They're up in Seattle. They don't have a great record this year, but they're a good team. But that is a tough place to play. I've seen them upset so many teams there. In 2019, I saw them upset the number one team in the country there. There's just a lot of factors about that trip and that gym. It is a tough place to play. So the Yotes, Colby Blaine knows all about Northwest, so he'll be ready for it. But that's a game that's dangerous. Oregon Tech travels up to Multnomah. Keep an eye on that game. And Corbin will be at LC State. So the conference is really starting to heat up. Look for those games next weekend. Going over to the GSAC, Arizona Christian. They beat Benedictine Mesa 94-63. Anthony Howell, 24 points, 7 rebounds, and Lorenzo Wright, 23 points, 3 rebounds. So the Firestorm, they go to 13-2. They're at the Masters on Wednesday. So mark your calendar for that. And speaking of the Masters, this is another upset for upset weekend. Hope International beat the Masters, beat them pretty good, 82-64. I certainly didn't have this one on my bingo card. A lot of the games I looked at, I thought the teams might be in some trouble, but I didn't see the Masters falling in this one. Hope is good. They're solid. I saw them play earlier in the year, but I just didn't think they'd take the Masters. But hey, congratulations to them. It was a big win. Cameron Deschaux, I'm sure I said his name wrong, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 4 steals, and Grant C., 15 points, 2 rebounds. So the Masters, they go to 12-3, and of course, they're going to host Arizona Christian, as we just said, on Wednesday. So taking a closer look at that, GSAC, no surprises other than what we just talked about. Go over here to the standings. Well, they just started, so you're either 1-0 or 0-1. So they're back in action on Wednesday, Arizona Christian at the Masters we talked about. And then on Thursday, Benedictine Mesa is going to be at Hope. We need to keep an eye on Hope, see if, are they going to be a surprise threat in the, that's not really a fair term. They're always a threat in the GSAC, but are they better than what we thought they were? Let's go down to the Red River Conference. Louisiana State, LSU Alexandria, they beat LSU Shreveport. This was a statement win. Look at that score, 109-75. Cashy Nat, 16 points, 6 rebounds. Jakeman Abney, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. So the Generals go to 14-1, and they're going to host Texas A&M Texarkana on Tuesday. Our Lady of the Lake, they recovered from their recent loss. They beat Paul Quinn 77-72. Brayon Powell, 17 points, 2 rebounds. And Lonzo Rand, 15 points, 6 assists. So they're going to host Louisiana Christian on Thursday, and they are now 13-3. Shall we take a look at the rest of the conference? Yes, we vote we do. The only surprise here, North American, which has struggled this year, they beat Jarvis Christian in overtime. That was a big win for North American. And look at Jarvis Christian's right in the middle of the pack. That was a tough loss for Jarvis Christian. So LSU Alexandria continues to lead. And they got Xavier right behind him, and everybody else is trailing. These teams down here are going to have trouble getting in that top four. We'll see how it shakes out. A lot of basketball to play. So they're back in action on Tuesday. LSU Alexandria is going to host Texarkana, as we said, and Xavier is going to host Texas College. And Texas College hosts 3-7. But keep an eye on those two games. Those are the two teams up here leading it. Sorry I'm moving it around so much. Montana Tech, they also fall to Rocky Mountain. Now, if you listen to the show on Friday, you know this was a game that I said was not automatic for Montana Tech. I thought that was a little bit of a dangerous game for them. Rocky Mountain beat them 63-55. Omari Nesbitt, 19 points, 3 rebounds, and Jalen Lee, 16 points, 10 rebounds. So Montana Tech goes to 12-2. They're still one of the toughest teams in the conference or the country. They go to 12-2, and they're going to host Montana Northern on Thursday. Taking a look at that Frontier Conference. Here's the other games. Providence beat Carroll, and Montana Western beat Northern. Again, first game of the conference. You're either 1-0 or 0-1. Montana Tech at Montana State Northern on Thursday. I think that's the game to watch out of that conference. Oh, let's go over to the GPAC. Always fun. Northwestern was at Midland, a game they were highly favored in. They did win, but they only won by 3. They seem to be slowing down a little bit. They're not just pounding on people. Remember, they struggled with Hastings the other night. But a win is a win is a win. Alex Van Kalsbeek, 31 points, 13 rebounds. And Jesse Van Kalsbeek, 19 points, 7 rebounds. They go to 16-0. And they have to go to I thought they were going to the Corn Palace. No, they host Dakota Wesleyan on Wednesday. They'll probably get Dakota Wesleyan at home, but I mean that's why they play the game. But a trip into the Corn Palace might be interesting. Number 11, Dort. They fell to Concordia on Saturday. Oh, Concordia just pounded him. I mean, wire to wire. They beat him 99-77. Bradley Bennett was on fire. They had to bring a fire hose out into the stands after the game and put him out of fire. He was on fire. 26 points. He went 8 for 11 from 3. Tristan Smith, 21 points, 13 rebounds, double. I don't think anybody in the country would have beat Concordia Saturday. They were hot. So Dort goes to 15-1, and Dort will play Waldorf on Wednesday. They have to travel to Waldorf on Wednesday. Morningside, they go down as well. They're at Doane. Again, if you listened to the show the other day, I told you Doane is a dangerous place to play. I can't really define why. It's just over the years I've seen so many top tier teams go into Doane and get on the bus as a loser. And Doane did it again. There's something about Crete, Nebraska. 64-57, they beat Morningside. Glavin McDonald, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Jack Wilson, 14 points, 4 rebounds. So Morningside goes to 13-4, and they have to, they're going to host Midland on Saturday. So let's take a look at the rest of the GPAC. What a topsy-turvy conference. There are no other surprises other than what I had talked to you about. Let's look at the standings. Northwestern 8-0, Dort 7-1, and then Morningside, and then there's Concordia. Remember they were struggling a lot early in the season, but they're now 6-3, and they're battling for that GPAC. So Concordia has to go to Doane. We'll see how they fare, and Dakota Wesleyan is going to be at Northwestern. Those are two games on. What day is it? On Wednesday. Keep an eye on in the GPAC. Langston, that was one of the games that was weather postponed. So let's take a quick look at the Sooner. A lot of games in the Sooner. Texas Wesleyan beat Mid-America Christian. I starred that game. I'm going to sneak over to the standing and show you why. These two teams right here at 6-4. Boy, they're sneaking up on Nelson, and they could be fighting for second and third position here. So that was a big game between those two. No other surprises in the conference. Wayland Baptist beat John Brown. That was a really big win for Wayland Baptist. So Wayland Baptist is 10-1. They're just getting a chokehold on the conference. I mean, they're 2 games up on Langston now, and they're 3 games up on everybody else. So as long as they keep winning, I mean, they're going to win the conference unless they stumble. So Langston is going to, on what day? Monday. Oh, tonight. Langston is going to play Southwestern Christian, and Nelson is going to be at Science and Arts. Wayland Baptist should definitely beat Panhandle. But this is why that Nelson game is important. Science and Arts, they struggled. They're a team that's playing better. Nelson is trying to stay in that top 4, and these two are just sneaking right up on them. So keep an eye on that game. Let's keep going. Over to the Crossroads, I think they got 9 teams in the top 25. Bethel, they had to go over to Ohio and play Mount Vernon Nazarene. They beat them 81-69. Al Pechulis, he would be the top scorer, wouldn't he? 21 points, 10 rebounds, and Trent Edwards, 10 points, 2 rebounds. So the Pilots, they go to 12-3, and they're going to host Marion on Wednesday. Grace College, they're just merciless against Goshen. 111-67. Yeah, they beat the heck out of them. Brett Sycophus, 23 points, 3 rebounds. And Gage Sefton, 20 points, 2 rebounds. And they are going to play at Huntington on Wednesday. And speaking of Huntington, so Huntington went down to Marion. Again, a game that if you listened to me on Friday, I thought that was a trap game for Huntington. They went in there. They lost by 2. They had a chance to tie it up at the very end. Layup didn't go in. That lost there in Indianapolis. So Huntington goes to 12-3. Congrats to Marion. That was a big win for them. Noah Loban, he had 30 points, 4 rebounds. Aiden Franks, 26 points, 3 rebounds. And it's going to get easier for Huntington now because next they host Grace on Wednesday. And hey, listen to the show. Tomorrow we plan on having Corey Alford from Huntington on. Wow. Corey Alford from Huntington. I can't even say that right. That's pretty bad. Okay, Indiana Wesleyan University, they fall again. 4 Crossroads losses. Isaiah Malone, 27 points, 4 rebounds. Robert Fry and Luke Almodovar both had 13 points. Joe Reedy, 11 points, 12 rebounds, double-double. But probably more impressive than any of those stats is that these guys held, especially I think Reedy and Fry, they held Bontrager to 2 points. So Indiana Wesleyan goes to 11-4. They're going to be at Taylor on Wednesday. Short drive for them. And they're 11-4, and they've lost 4 conference games. Let's go to the standings. Let's look at the rest of the Crossroads quick. No other surprises other than what I told you. Those are the rest of the scores. There's not hardly any. After you do the top 25, it's the whole conference. So Bethel is 5-0. Grace and Spring Arbor, St. Francis are 4-1. And then, look at this. Indiana Wesleyan's 1-4. Man. So, okay, what are the games to watch on Wednesday? Grace Huntington for sure. Grace has to go to Huntington. And then Marion, do they got another one in their tank? They're going up to Mishawaka. Can they knock off Bethel? Keep an eye on those 2 games. Oh, Baker, that was another one that was weather postponed. There were only a couple of games in the Heart. Peru State, no surprise, was a winner. Central Methodist. So let's look at the standings. Baker still has a stranglehold on the Heart. That win against Graceland was just huge for them. But Peru State is lurking in the background there. So on Wednesday, Baker is going to be at Benedictine. Keep an eye on that. Also a key game, Graceland at Peru State. This game right here, because these guys are second. See, these guys are tied at 8-2. So that's going to be a really important game. Let's go down to the Sun Conference. Ave Maria, they fell to Florida Memorial. Another upset on Saturday. This game was just set up perfect. Ave Maria, they want to run a track meet. Florida Memorial, they want to bang the boards, and it's just two completely different styles. I've seen Ave Maria knock off Florida Memorial before, but this time Florida Memorial got them. So Calvin Payton, he had 19 points, 3 rebounds. Latavius Mitchell, 11 points, 11 rebounds. That is a big dude. I mean, he is a handful. Florida Memorial, or Ave Maria, goes to 12-4, and they are going to be at Warner on Wednesday. And then Kaiser also in action. They beat New College. New College, as I said, they're 7-7. They're 0-3 in the Sun. But we'll have to keep an eye on them. Vince Miskowitz, 16 points, 23 rebounds. Hey, there was only 31 missed shots. He left 8 rebounds. 23 rebounds. I saw that a number, and I couldn't believe it. If you haven't watched this guy in person, man, if you get a chance to, he is just such an effortless rebounder. He's strong as a bull, and he's all business, and he just gets it done. So Kaiser now, they are 12-2, and they're going to be out at Southwestern on Wednesday. Huge game. Oh, and we don't forget to mention Tryon Payne, 29 points, 3 rebounds. It just got overshadowed by Vince. I'm sorry about that. So here's the rest of the games in the league. They're all actually big games, but that Kaiser game was important. And Ave Maria at Florida Memorial. You can see Coastal Georgia won. You can see the winners there. So here's the standings. I'll go. I think Kaiser's 3-0, Ave Maria's 3-1, and Southeastern's 3-1, and Coastal Georgia's 3-1, and Florida Memorial's lurking there at 2-2. So these are the upcoming games on Wednesday. Kaiser at Southeastern. That is the game of the night in the Sun. And then Ave Maria is at Warner. Ave Maria's got to, they got to keep winning. They can't let Kaiser sneak away from them. So a lot of pressure now on Ave Maria. And in the Appalachian Conference, we had University of Pikeville. They defeated Columbia, South Carolina, 78-65. Kay Looney, 16 points, 5 rebounds. And Keenan Cutlip, 15 points, 6 rebounds. So Pikeville goes to 14-3, and they're going to host Bluefield on Tuesday. Let's take a quick look at the AAC. Probably the most important game. Johnson fell to Milligan. I'll show you here in the standings. They're both right here in the middle of the pack. Here's Johnson, here's Milligan. They're really fighting to work their way back up. That was a significant game. So CIU and Bryant, both 7-1, Pikeville 7-2. So they play this conference is back in action on Tuesday. Keep an eye on Bryant and Truett McConnell, and Bluefield and Pikeville. And the University of Rio Grande on Saturday, they defeated Shawnee State 93-72. Eric Butler there, 23 points, 6 rebounds. Jalen Fox, 20.7 rebounds. They go to 11-3, and they're going to host West Virginia Tech on Tuesday. And West Virginia Tech is playing really, really good basketball, so I'm curious how that game's going to come out. Let's take a look at the rest of the River States. Really, no surprises. West Virginia Tech fell. I didn't see that before. But look, it's hard to really figure out where this conference is. They've only played 2 games. So Midway, here's a couple games to keep an eye on. Midway is going to be at Alice Lloyd on Tuesday, and then they play again later in the week. The River States is kind of a different conference. They have an East-West, and then for the teams to make the playoffs, they have some kind of a weird quantum fiber equation they go through, pi times square pi, round pi, double the distance to the sun times 3, and they figure out who wins the conference. It is some kind of complicated. Yeah, enough about that. So Oklahoma Wesleyan, another school that got canceled out because of the weather. So let's take a look at the KCAC. Whoop. On Friday, you can see the winners there. St. Mary's won. Southwestern. Bethel beat Avila. Friends beat Ottawa. No surprises. So let's look at the standings. St. Mary's, they've got a 1.5 game lead on Oklahoma Wesleyan. Have to see how that's going to shake out. They're back in action on Wednesday. I circled a couple games here. Sterling is at Friends. Keep an eye on that game. And then St. Mary is at Oklahoma Wesleyan. So it seems like Oklahoma Wesleyan has just been involved in so many big games here lately, but they need to win at home over St. Mary to kind of, they've kind of held that conference in the palm of their hand for a couple years, and they need to establish dominance again. I guess that's what I'm saying, and that's what they're going to be looking for when St. Mary comes to town. Let's go through the other conferences that didn't have anybody in the top 25. This is the HBCU conference. A little bit of a surprise here. Dillard beat, or a key game for Dillard. They beat Wilberforce, but look, sorry about that. Dillard 5-2. They're trying to keep pace in the conference, so that was a big game for them. And then Talladega beat Philander Smith, who that was a bit of an upset. Talladega's 3-5, Philander Smith 6-3, so that was an upset. Let's look at the standings. Stillman still has the lead in the conference. Tougaloo and Suno at 6-1, and Dillard. We'll have to see how this is going to play out. So this weekend, tonight on Monday, Tougaloo is going to be at Wilberforce. Keep an eye on that game. And then Philander Smith is going to be at Stillman. That could be big. That could be really big because, see, Philander Smith is at 6-3, 7-1. Yeah, anyway, you get it. That's a big game. Southern States. Just go through the scores here. No surprises on this one. Everybody who you figured would win won. Dalton State has the lead. The number of games here is odd. Some 8 games in. Some have 7, some have 5. But Dalton State, Life, and William Carey are kind of at the lead of the conference. Games to watch on Thursday. Faulkner at Dalton State. That's a key game in the conference. See, Faulkner is right here, and then Dalton State. So Faulkner's trying to fight their way back up. Let's go to the WAC real quick. Lords beat Cornerstone. Big game. Everything else was as expected. So Indiana Tech is still 7-0. Lawrence Tech and Lords and Cornerstone. You can see the standings right there. So they're back in action again on Wednesday. Cornerstone is going to be at Lawrence Tech. That's a big game. And then Indiana Tech at Northwestern Ohio. Northwestern Ohio is a lot better than they've been in the last few years, and they could really do some damage if they could beat Indiana Tech. Chicagoland. Man, a lot of games this weekend. Olivet Nazarene, this was the big surprise in the Chicagoland. Olivet Nazarene beat Indiana Northwest. That was a bit of a surprise because, see, Indiana Northwest 4-2 now. Olivet Nazarene is 3-3. Maybe Olivet Nazarene, they've struggled so far this season, but maybe they're getting it together. St. Francis and St. Xavier 5-1. Indiana Northwest and South Bend 4-2. Here's the games to watch for Wednesday. South Bend at St. Xavier, and St. Francis, who's leading the conference, is at Governor State. And that's all I have for you. What a wild weekend, huh? I appreciate everybody's time, and tune in tomorrow. We'll have Corey Alford, and then the plan right now is on Wednesday we'll have Coach Chris Kemp from Eastern Oregon. So tune in for those, and thank you very much for everybody who's listening. This is Billy D, and that's all I got. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.